You really want to witness change in the WWE. You really want to, see the product get back onto the level where it was back in the Attitude Era and at times during the Ruthless Aggression Era. SmackDown again has been better this year, but it's not quite on the same level as it was in 2016 when the brand split first returned. If you want to see that happen, and I've said this how many times to get this guy's name out there, hashtag please sign Robbie. This is more so of like like a pledge video, like a an endorsement video, whatnot. Because usually whenever like I'm not able to see or even when most of the times when some of my Horseman brothers here on YouTube post like a discussion video, whatnot, I do try to put something out there through my channel as well to have these guys' voices heard because we know what we're talking about as WWE fans. And a lot of us are sick and tired of seeing Vince McMahon, Road Dogg, Kevin Bucktooth Dunn, and all of them just like stomp all over us, acting like they're the big leagues, they're getting all the money, so they do whatever the heck they want and just troll with us. Well, in the words of John Cena earlier this year, at the beginning of his feud, The Undertaker, get over your ego. Or as I probably should say, get over your egos. Raw viewership is dropping and setting record lows every single week anymore. But does the WWE care at this moment? No. Want to know why? Because one, Roman Reigns is the Universal Champion, and they're booking him like crap as champion. Even though I said how many times before Roman became champion, like I was more so looking forward to seeing Roman becoming champion and having him chase that championship anymore to get that cancer feud of Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns done with because they was holding things up in the WWE. That's still not the case because, I'm still hold my finger up here because he's still being booked like crap as Universal Champion, even though he was booked great as champion before, except for his U.S. title run, of course. But now it's just like they're just shoving it back down our throats and just making stupid decisions all around him that as well, which is one of the biggest cancers right now. But even if it's not just Roman Reigns, the WWE still wouldn't WWE would still have that certain star they would want to book like and make everyone act like he's like the biggest deal of the company, and everybody else would suffer because of it. I mean, I get, not everyone's going to succeed on the main roster. That's something I feel like myself and a lot of fans need to understand. But when it comes to the rest of your product in general, put some effort into it. And if you want someone sitting in that chair besides Triple H writing this show, look no further than my good friend here on YouTube, Robbie One Kenobi. So this is kind of also a response video to a recent live stream Robbie did Friday night, which I was not able to catch live because I was out visiting some friends. But I had to check this out, and I do recommend going back and checking this out. I was going to record this live, but I needed something to do while I was getting set up and recording for the rest of my Tommaso Champions video, which I'm hoping to have that done today. But this is a response to Robbie's card. Now, let's talk about this for a second. First off, Robbie came up. This is again a fantasy booking card for Evolution because so far for Evolution, I think we only have like 5 matches, and out of the 5, I could say maybe 2 or 3 of them I'm interested in, but I'm not expecting too much out of them. Well, one of them I'm expecting a lot from. The other 2 depends. Like the ones I'm expecting a lot from, of course, Becky Lynch and Charlotte, which needs to be the main event. Everyone says it needs to be the main event, not Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey, because apparently Nikki Bella is a big legend and whatnot. No, as I keep saying, her shaking her ass is the biggest legend about her, pretty much. Her knocking down John Cena's door, the only door she's truly ever knocked down, is what made her stand out as big time just because that happens. And I'm not saying I hate the Bella Twins. The Bella Twins have their own talents of their own, but they are not on the level of any of these women's wrestlers that have helped this women's evolution happen. They're not anywhere like Trish Stratus or Lita. They're not, Charlotte or Becky Lynch or, well, they're not booked as well anymore. Of course I could say that, but Sasha and Bayley and several others. Asuka before she got booked like crap again. And this card just doesn't feel like, a big celebration of Evolution. Not having a battle royale with like pretty much everyone else you couldn't get into a singles match or a tag team match doesn't feel any special whatsoever. because I bet you, here's the thing, if it's like a 20, 30 woman battle royal, I'll bet you at least like 60-70% of the talent in there feel very irrelevant. I hate to say it, but that's what waters down battle royals, is when it's obvious who are the only choices could win that, and everyone else just looks like garbage. And it's filler. It doesn't feel special. Robbie, on the other hand, here, I'm going to read over his card he came up with. He came up with a 2-night event. Now, of course, a lot of you are saying, oh, we wouldn't want to wrestle maybe 2-night event. Like, why would we want to make someone else 2-night event? Listen to this card. I want to go through it, and I'm not going to repeat Robbie's card. Well, Robbie's whole movie in general in this, but I'm going to just pretty much, just go through this and feel how every match, even the ones that are meant to be filler, how it all matters. And how, not every single woman on the entire roster, whether it's main roster, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK, not every single person is on that card. But it still feels special because every match feels like it brings out some aspect of women's wrestling over the past how many years or so we've ever had women's wrestling. Like, he even went out as far as saying who's going to be on commentating, who was going to be ring announcing and whatnot, singing the national anthem, and it all feels special. He came up with this tournament called 4 for the Gold, having 4 matches from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and even Legends. Fatal 4-ways, the winners of those matches would compete in one of the last matches on the second night of Evolution for a future championship opportunity. And it would be a briefcase. Like, kind of like a Money in the Bank contract, but not completely like a Money in the Bank contract. The first one he has is Alexa Bliss, Ember Moon, Nia Jax, and Liv Morgan. I believe he had Ember Moon winning that, which makes sense because she's the more so the upstart and definitely finds a way to get her momentum going. He has a triple threat tag team match. It's not for the tag titles, but it's between the Bella Twins, the Iconics, and Laycool, just of teams of friendship pretty much. And that's the role the Bella Twins should be playing, part of this Evolution, and not just hitting a forearm on Ronda Rousey from behind, and all of a sudden Nikki Bella's up for a title opportunity. When, keep in mind, has Nikki Bella even had a singles match in recent memory? I honestly can't think of a singles match Nikki Bella has had since her Falls Count Anywhere match with Natalya right before WrestleMania 33 in 2017. That's literally the last time I can think of Nikki Bella having any sort of singles matches, because all of her matches have been tag matches since then. Mixed tag with John Cena, tag team match against the Riot Squad, and yeah, she was in the Women's Royal Rumble, but still, that doesn't count. Like, what makes her qualified to be in this title match with Ronda Rousey? And why isn't Brie Bella making a case to gain a title opportunity as well? It's like, the other thing of 2018 is they're showing that WWE is giving people title opportunities the wrong way, and it just doesn't make any sense. Alexa Bliss broke Nia Jax's heart earlier this year, and that's how Nia Jax gets a title opportunity. Nikki Bella hits a forearm on Ronda Rousey from behind, and her and Brie attack her, and that's how Nikki Bella gets a title opportunity. I could go on and on about that again, but it makes no sense. He then has a match between Natalya and Beth Phoenix and he's calling it the Jim the Anvil Neidhart tribute match, which is great because, Beth Phoenix, Natalya, real life best friends. Beth Phoenix coming out of retirement to have another match against her best friend, just, a friendly competition. May I also suggest, Robbie, also adding some implication of Owen Hart in this as well, because if correct me if I'm wrong, Beth Phoenix, when she first met Natalya, apparently, because Beth mentioned this in her Hall of Fame speech this year, the year before, in 2017, the fact that the Hart family did kind of have an impact on her career as well. So why not also include, Owen in this as well? Maybe, I feel this is a suggestion. The Legends Fatal 4-Way for the gold. He has Lita, Molly Holly, Victoria, and Gail Kim with Alundra Blaze as special guest referee. Now again, these are matches that are just being just thrown together for no apparent reason. They have some meaning behind it, storyline wise. Like you don't have 50 legends appearing here and having Alundra Blaze be special referee. No, you have 4 specific legends as surprise, not feeling like we're expected to see everyone there. Just who are we going to see here? And this is all we get. And then Alundra Blaze special guest referee fits great. I think he had Victoria going over on that one. He even came up with a couple of performance breaks as well. He has fight song happening on the first night, which I think he says fits well with what Evolution is supposed to be about. This is one of my favorites: Shayna Baszler and Bayley. This is one of several moments throughout Evolution that Robbie has to try to light the fire back into some of these women's careers who have not been booked well since coming to the main roster. And this one would work well for Bayley. Having Shayna bully Bayley, and even bully Izzy as well, Bayley's biggest fan, whatnot. And go as far as having, because even though Shayna Baszler is probably going to come to the main roster soon, have this feud take place on both Raw and NXT. The build for it happened. The matches tell that simple story of Shayna trying to bring out all these weaknesses in Bayley, saying how she's too much of a fangirl, whatnot, she's too nice and whatnot, and all that crap. And then have or even bully Izzy, and have during the match he was moment where have Bayley literally just beat down Shayna in front of Izzy and be you don't ever mess with her at all, but have it be where Shayna does win the match, but again gets Bayley to pass out to show to give us that feel of man, you really thought that Bayley was going to win that match, kind of like how it was whenever with Ember Moon and Asuka 2 from Takeover Brooklyn 3. Have Bayley, even though she lost the match, come out looking like a winner and getting the fan reaction that they believe in her again. Kind of like what happened whenever, Velveteen Dream lost to Aleister Black at TakeOver War Games 1, but, Velveteen Dream still kind of became a star through that match. Have that happen. Afterwards, Shayna continues to beat down on Bayley, but Sasha comes out. Looks like she's going to save Bayley, but have Sasha turn heel on that moment. Set up for the long-awaited Sasha Banks heel turn, and also to raise the stakes higher for Sasha's match later on in night 1. Another match is kind of like a cool down match for filler, but the stories makes perfectly sense. Caitlyn and Ruby Riott, a legend coming back. Well, I wouldn't say legend, but a former star coming back to have another match in WWE, taking on someone else who could use a match, and Ruby Riott, who is definitely an underrated talent, was overlooked by the weak stable, the Riott Squad. I've always ranted about how many times. Have Caitlyn win afterwards. Have that where Ruby Riott turns on Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riott becomes a babyface. Because I feel like, again, even after watching the Lex Man's top 5 heels who should turn face, that's where she turns face. Caitlyn gets a win. We get to see Caitlyn back in action for about 9 or 10 minutes, and have Ruby Riott turn face as well, which that would work as well. The main event of night 1, is Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks. Now, before this match even began, again, Sasha turned heel earlier on, facing beating down Bayley after Bayley's match with Shayna Baszler. But before this could be just face on face at first, where Sasha, I respect Ronda, but I'm tired of getting lost in the shuffle. I want to get back to where I belong, and becoming and I like this phrase Robbie came up with: the baddest boss on the planet defeats the baddest woman on the planet. Bayley could come out during the match and have a mishap happen. She accidentally takes out Ronda, of course by accident. Building up, a little more of a story what's going on with Bayley and Sasha now, and have Sasha be able to get Ronda to pass out to the bank statement, pretty much like that. And again, this match would be a submission match. This championship match would be a submission match, which is fitting for both Ronda and Sasha, knowing that they both have deadly submissions. But that's it for night one. Again, Robbie just telling the stories and the details, like stuff happening during the match, before the match, after the match. It's making me literally sit there and feel the suspense and wanting to actually see this happen. Like I'm literally like sitting there, like, getting like the feel like oh my goodness, is this gonna be the moment where she's gonna turn or whatnot, or is this what's gonna happen here? It builds that suspense, and that's just not from watching on TV. Is me imagining it from hearing a intelligent human being tell these stories, pitching his ideas. And that's only night one once again. And that's also, it's already a great way to bring out the evolution of women's wrestling. Not overexposing 50 people on there just because, everybody needs to be a part of it. No, I'm sorry, that's not the case. Not every single superstar needs to be a part of WrestleMania, because that's what waters down the product also. Overexposure. Let's get into night two, where he changed up the commentators a little bit, having Daniel Bryan in there instead of Corey Graves. Same ring announcers and whatnot for night two. But we start off with Kairi Sane and Bianca Belair for the NXT Championship match, and he had Kairi Sane retaining, but it was kind of one of those matches where Bianca Belair, yes, she's undefeated. Coming out there and had those matches where it looked like she could have won, but she didn't quite win, but at least gives her a good rub, and of course she probably would eventually become NXT champion, because as like he's saying, Kairi Sane, Bianca Belair is the closest to anyone I feel being ready for an NXT women's championship run. He has the NXT 4 for Gold qualifying match. Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Nikki Cross, and Lacey Evans. He had Lacey Evans going over on this one, which I trust his booking, but I've still mentioned the fact that I'm still not the biggest Lacey Evans fan. Like, there's this, I can't quite completely get behind her in their in-ring talent. I'm sure she is talented. It might be just me setting the bar for just a little bit too high, but but it's still I still appreciate the fact that I should say I appreciate, but I still trust what Robbie's instinct, what he sees there. So I'm cool with Lacey going over. And actually, speaking of Lacey, I accidentally skipped over one match from night one, the Mae Young Classic Finals. Now, we know it's either going to be Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, or who was the last one? Meiko Satomura, or whatever her name is, going to the finals. Those are the final four right now. But he had his final four as Casey Canizero and Lacey Lane. Hashtag Casey versus Lacey, which would be an awesome match. They're definitely two women that I was definitely impressed with big time in the Mae Young Classic. Lacey Lane got a little bit further than Casey did, but Casey again was awesome. She just walked right into Rhea Ripley, who definitely needed this momentum going forward, since she's supposed to be getting a big push on NXT UK. I've been hearing the rumors of. But I think that would definitely be a good qualifying match. And afterwards, Triple H comes out as being the authority figure that he is, acknowledging talents, acknowledging that they both have contracts in the back for them to sign with NXT, waiting for them. Just putting them both over for their great talents as well. But I forgot to mention that match. I had to go back and do that. He has Trish Stratus taking on Mickie James in a 2 out of 3 falls match, revisiting their old rivalry back in the day, which I think would be awesome. A cool down match between Meiko Satomura and Hiroyu Matsumoto, I believe the name was pronounced. I'm sorry, but I definitely think this would be a good match to showcase. Also, get some strong style wrestling there as well, like changing it up a little bit and having that would be like a filler match. Not I shouldn't say filler, but like a cool down match, but it still feels like something as we get to see these two strong style Japanese wrestlers wrestle. Another performance break with Rise and Roar from Katy Perry, which would be awesome. And then, oh my goodness, I missed another match. I am sorry. The final four for the gold qualifying match having Naomi, Sonya Deville, Zelina Vega, and Carmella. The SmackDown four for the gold qualifying match. But the match ends in a contest because Asuka comes out dressed out in this different ring attire that he saw a photo of somewhere on Twitter of, and pretty much being like, Asuka being more of like, a little more heelish and just heelish one, just like kind of like reinvented in some ways and whatnot, coming out and just laying everyone out. Triple H comes out later and says even though Paige disagrees with the impact that she made, though Asuka would be the fourth member of the four for the gold fatal four-way match, but it would be a ladder match with the contract, which would be freaking awesome. But that match happens after the Katy Perry performance, with Ember Moon, Lacey Evans, Victoria, and Asuka. And Asuka would win that opportunity in a great looking ladder match. Again, I can't remember all the details that Robbie pitched when he talked about the match. Then for a cooldown match, we get a 6-woman tag match between like 6 members from the Mae Young Classic to showcase talents, whether they're going to NXT or whether they're going to NXT UK. It's Mia Yim, Toni Storm, and Deonna Purrazzo taking on Rhea Ripley, Mercedes Martinez, and Tainara Conchi, which would be a great 6-woman tag team match. Again, showcase talents from more talents from the Mae Young Classic, and also some of these talents who are definitely going on to NXT and NXT UK as well. I believe we had Rhea Ripley picking up the pinfall victory, I think it was. And then the main event, Charlotte and Becky for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, first, again, he is for the last woman standing stipulation, but he has this changed to a loser leaves SmackDown match. Because this, as Woody would say, this town ain't big enough for the two of us. Pretty much that story between Becky and Charlotte, of course, trying to emphasize more Charlotte being the heel than Becky. The match happens, a very explosive match. After the match, that look of the stain on Charlotte's face, doing, and again, the nah, hey, goodbye. And as Robbie says, Becky giving Charlotte that look of like, look at little Flair Jr. Gonna cry? And then Charlotte goes to fight back one more time, even though after the post match, and then Becky just goes to Bexplex City and does a Bex bloater into like a table or whatnot, leaving Charlotte there, and that's how we go off the air for Evolution. Now again, I may have not explained that card as great as Robbie did when he explained, and again, I didn't want to really like take all of Robbie's video and just like talk about the whole thing one video, but I had to like throw out the card there. But guys, again, and I'm not just saying this because Robbie's my friend. This guy seriously made me sit there for 2 hours and listen to a 16-match 2-night event. That just watching that made me feel like I was watching like one of the better WrestleManias of all time. I felt the emotions while watching it. I can picture the storytelling happening. It was just, it's not the thing where you just sit there, you're listening to one of your friends talking, you're not really understanding, you're just like, yeah, this sounds good, guys. No. I seriously sat there and took it all in as if I really was watching the show. And I would have definitely paid dollars to go out to Long Island or again, wherever Evolution is taking place to see this 2-night event. I will post the link of the full video in the description of this video down below. I'm going to have this video pinned at the top of my Twitter feed, which again, if you need to follow me on Twitter, it's the Man Airborne 93, link down in the description down below. But seriously, guys, watch this video. This is a pledge. Watch Robbie's video and watch all the other fantasy booking video ideas he has done on his channel. He hasn't been able to do as many anymore since he's busier in life now. Dead serious. This guy wants to write for WWE someday. As soon as he can. He wants to get in there, pitch all these ideas, show that he is passionate about, the product and making it the best, and not just sitting down just to make a paycheck and just, treat it like a playground, troll his fans like Kevin Dunn, Vince McMahon, Road Dogg, all those crap heads do, pretty much. I am serious, guys. Get this video trending on Twitter. Get Robbie's Evolution card trending on Twitter. And if you like what you say, including this hashtag please sign Robbie, or hashtag Raw needs Robbie. And another one I like to add out there is hashtag believe in Robbie. Get that trending on Twitter, guys. Get this man in the ring again. I literally sat down for 2 hours and 11 minutes listening to Robbie's card. And I literally felt like I experienced that watching it. It's that great. The storytelling he's gotten there, just the simple little things that the WWE can easily do, but not make them feel important as Robbie did in that card. Hashtag please sign Robbie. Hashtag Raw needs Robbie, and hashtag believe in Robbie.